everybody, Average Picker here. Not a picking video. Maybe you'll still be interested. It's a video I've been meaning to kind of make for somebody for a hot minute. This is about the synth setup, I guess. We're just going to look at what the setup currently kind of is very briefly. I'm not going to get into reviewing any of the pieces or anything like that. I may make a few side comments on some of them. But yeah, just so you can kind of see what's going on with it. So let's get started real quick. So yeah, everything ends up dumping into the Tascam Model 12, which I am absolutely loving. It, of course, multi-tracks out into Logic. It'll also multi-track onto the SD card up there. So you get all the little tracks, and then you can modify them if you want to, though. I'm really kind of done with mixing. I kind of just tend to get one general mix on the board now and roll with it. I do really love this thing. I kind of want to see what the next gen's going to look like. And it is very Tascam. There's some of this stuff I still haven't quite figured out how to do whatever it is it even does, or what it does. It's very convoluted. Tascam has kind of their own thing going on sometimes on some of these boards. For MIDI controllers, we're using the Arturia BeatStep Pro and the Arturia KeyStep 37. So the 37, I mean, it'll obviously do different MIDI channels. I've got it just set to MIDI 1, and it is chained through the Behringer, was it the K2, and the Behringer Model D. They're both on the same channel, and they're chained together, so when you hit a note, they both kind of play. And basically, if I want more of one and less of the other, I just adjust the volume on it. It's quicker to do that for me than switching the MIDI channel, and sometimes I want both of them playing at the same time. This is a little Uno synth. It's a really dirt cheap synth that they make. For a starter synth, I really like it. I do sort of like it, but it's not great. Mostly I use this for like filling in sounds and just sporadic kind of effects here and there. It's just set up on its own. I should mention, I guess, none of this stuff is synced together. There's no master clock running or anything like that. They're just doing their own thing, and I just try to time it based off of what it is I'm doing. Super glare city off the screen there, but this is the Black Box 1010. It's a kind of sampler sequencer, and that thing is absolutely phenomenal. I think if I had to ditch all the equipment, I would still probably hang on to this piece. Yeah, I could just do a whole video probably about the BeatStep, or about the 1010. Absolutely am in love with it. But yeah, that's the primary sampler. Actually, I guess it's the only sampler currently hooked up. But it also sequences the drums and everything like that. Look, just wave my hand, you can kind of see some on the screen. Oh, a lot of morning sun glare. The Pico System 3. Don't use this one very much. I could do a video probably on regrets about getting the Pico System 3. But it's not bad, and every so often it is fun to play with. And then the Moog DFAM. People seem to love or hate this thing. I am very slightly in the middle. Most days I'm not a huge fan of it, and some days it does exactly what I kind of want it to do and fills in exactly how I want it to fill in. I don't know. I find it a little more usable if I patch in other things like this little sequencer guy here to it. But yeah, the DFAM. This was going to be the primary, I guess, drum machine, more or less. Originally, that was the original plan for it, and that has completely fallen by the wayside. It just was not filling that role like I wanted it to. Now we get into some of the weirder stuff. So this is the Radio Sputnik. It's just kind of a little drone synth made by Error Instruments. It's kind of neat. It's modeled after Russian radio static, kind of. I think you can just safely say it's just modeled after radio static. So in general, I don't know if there's anything that really separates out Russian radio static. This guy here got off Etsy. It's made by, see if I can, it's gonna sound like crap on this mic. quite dusty, as you can see. But this is an amazing little floating oscillator piece. Got it off Etsy, Wildfire Laboratories, I think. It's one of my favorite just kind of drone synths. Absolutely love this thing. Don't let the dust fool you. It gets used all the time. It's made even better by the fact I've got it pretty much permanently now outputting through a Grand Canyon Echo delay pedal. This is another little drone synth. I forget what it's called. Let's get there's the little, there we go. A little less glare there on it. But yeah, it's sort of neat because it has a couple resistors that you can change out and get a little bit different sound out of it. I don't use it a whole lot, but when I want it or need it, it's very much serves the role. Then we got the JMT something or other drone synth. And yeah, absolutely love this little piece as well. It has sort of replaced one of my other favorite pieces, though I still swap those in from time to time. And I am totally blanking on the person that makes these. This is another drone synth. It's a 6 oscillator one, and they also make this little 3 oscillator one. It's made by this person in Russia, and they sound absolutely phenomenal. These two are not hooked up at the moment, but again, they're just constant drone oscillator synths. Absolutely love them, but then I just really like that constant drone sound going on. These two pieces are also off Etsy, made by Seely Official. It's S-E-E-L-E, and then the word official. And they do just a bunch of circuit bending, and the stuff that's in here is probably not related at all to what it says. But oh my gosh, these things just absolutely scream. This one's a little more rhythmic, I suppose, than this one is. This thing puts out an incredibly hot signal, though it's a little weird because even touching it kind of modifies the sound a little bit. But yeah, just, you know, when you want that sound of the Ford factory trying to make cars while simultaneously burning down, like, these are the go-to pieces. They're just amazing for that. And things are in a little bit of a switch around. So I'm going to start moving. This is an old mixer I had, a Mackie. I'm going to start moving some of these pieces, primarily like this one, the Sensophone, maybe the JMT. I'm going to move some of this equipment, though, over into here just to expand the Model 12 Tascam a little bit more. Yeah, it's basically because you're running out of ports and stuff. So yeah, this is going to just end up dumping out into one of the channels on the Tascam. It's another little piece, though, I have absolutely loved. It's a little matrix mixer. Michael Rusi on Etsy makes this one. He's also made this little sequencer box, which is just amazing. I'm not going to go into a lot of the details on it. Great little sequencer box. Absolutely love it to death. This thing has saved a couple pieces. Like, it has really worked well with the DFAM and the Pico System 3. I probably would have sold it already if it wasn't for this, because you can just clock up a lot of stuff. Not clock, but sequence a lot of stuff on both of those units. Makes it a little more usable. But what's cool about the Matrix Mixer, if you're not aware of them, is you can basically go in any direction, route a signal into anything else, right? So it's got 4 ins, 4 outs. That's the way it's set up right now, though it can go the other way. So, you know, if you wanted to send, I don't know if anything. Yeah, there we go. So that is hooked up at the moment. Let's see. So if you want to send it to you know, a delay, you can, or we can come down here and just send it out on its own signal, or send it through another effects box. So it's a really neat way if you have a lot of different, or not a lot, but 4 different effects boxes, and you're always having to swap them into different pieces of equipment. Get yourself a matrix mixer, because then you can just route it however you want to. You could even loop one of these back in to itself and then send it back out if you wanted to, I guess, for whatever reason. But yeah, that comprises the current Frequency 13 lineup. There's a couple other pieces that are going to join some of this stuff. There's a few little gaps I kind of want to fill, just in a different way, I guess, that I'm currently filling with the black box. You see room is starting to become an issue, and power is starting to become an issue. I've got a huge power strip back there. But yeah, just a brief little setup at the current thing. I mean, this is a lockpicking channel. I don't plan to necessarily turn it into music, but you might see some more music-related content on here. Especially, I don't know if some of you respond and say, oh yeah, this is kind of neat. Let's see some other stuff. Maybe I'll do some more things. But anyway, there we go. Have a good one.